Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Good to see you. I'm just going to start the hangout.
Okay.
Welcome back to another class on Verbling with Teacher Abby. Looking forward to having a nice lesson with you guys. We are going to be talking about good manners and etiquette, something I don't have.
Really?
So, well, I'm learning. I'm learning. So I'm looking forward to learning how to have good manners for me and obviously practicing English with you guys. Ali, how was your weekend?
Uh, it's normal as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing special. Uh, there was hot weather, I think. I just relaxed, met some friends. That's all.
Awesome. Did you paint the town red?
No, I couldn't paint.
There was no
Maybe,
painting.
maybe next week.
Oh, lovely. I'm glad you had a nice weekend. And hi, Amp, how are you? Good to see you back in class.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing very nice. I'm actually visiting my family in Vancouver, the city that's it's quite close to where I was before, but nice to see the
Good,
city.
good weather.
It's a little bit chilly, but it's nice. It's nice. It's sunny today and it looks like blue sky, so
Nice.
thanks for coming to class, Amp. And hi, Lucas, how are you today?
Hello, Abby. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Your weekend was okay?
Yes, it was nice weekend because Sunday I spent most of time with friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's like chill out Sunday. It's okay.
Chilled out.
Chilling,
Yeah.
chill out Sunday.
Perfect. It was a chill out Sunday. Beautiful. Glad you had a nice time. Sunday's a good day to relax because Monday it starts all over again. If you're gonna get crazy, do it on Saturday, right?
And again, and we are older.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming, Lucas. Hi, Victor. Welcome back to class.
Hi, Abby. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. How was your weekend?
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I drove to my mom. I met my sister, my mom, my nephew, and my niece.
Wonderful. You had a nice time.
Yeah, some nice time.
I remember you told me that on Friday that you had plans to go and drive quite a distance to see your mom. So I'm glad that it worked out for you.
Yeah, and I drove without any troubles or any adventures.
That's good. Sometimes low-key travel is good. I drove all the way to Vancouver through, it's called the Coquihalla, which is like a mountain passage that goes from a place called Merritt to Vancouver. But the weather was okay, just a little bit of rain, so it was all good.
How far is it?
I'm embarrassed to tell you it took me 5 hours, but it should take about 4. I was a little slow. I haven't driven in Canada for a few years, so I was a little bit slow. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We have a lesson about good manners and etiquette. Amp, what do you think? What do you think manners are? Can you give me an example?
Well, when you arrive to any place, for example, to greet the people that is there, um, to ask for permission if you are going to use something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Asking for permission, very good. What about you, Ali? What are manners?
Manners,
Mm-hmm. Or etiquette?
etiquette. I think a kind of rules. Maybe you have to do something. You because you don't looks like a rude person or something like that. it depends culture or religion or are you from? It's a difference, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Good. And we're going to talk about that in class, about rules and etiquette where you come from. So if everyone wants to start thinking about different forms of manners or things that are considered appropriate or inappropriate, we're going to share that at the end of class. Anything that comes to your mind, Victor, when you hear that word, etiquette?
I don't sure. Can we call, for example, manner of interacting?
Manner of interacting, absolutely.
Yeah.
The way we
Or
come into
communication,
contact
yeah.
with people. Very good. Excellent. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a list of warm-up questions that we'll be able to have a discussion with to start off the class. So why don't we have Victor, do you want to read the first question for us here?
Do you have good manners? Are you a polite person?
What do you think? How would you answer that question?
Yes, I have good manners and I consider myself a polite person.
Okay, very good.
Quite polite person.
Very good. I'm quite polite. Nicely done. Are you going to start singing for us too? I'm quite polite. And why do you think you are polite, Victor? Where do you think you got that from?
I don't know how to say. I have good education. Maybe that's why. And
maybe mom and dad or family members, people you were raised with?
Exactly. In my family, it was yes, always speak like in polite way, without rude words.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that you're a nice person. What about anybody else in the class? Do you want to tell me if you've got good manners and why you think you have them?
I think so. I try to be polite with people, be respectful. Yes, in every place I go, I try to be nice with the people that is there. Respect their space. Yes, that's I think it's a way to be polite. Have a good manners.
Absolutely. Good answer. Lucas, read the second question for us and give us your answer.
Is it proper etiquette to arrive late to work or school?
Good. Let me help you. Etiquette.
Etiquette.
Perfect. Now, what do you think?
I think most people always thought that is it not proper to arrive to work or some meeting late because it seems like you are not responsible or you are the meeting or something. It's for you. It's like not interesting. People can seem so. Every professional person, I think, try to be 5-10 minutes before the meeting start.
Good. That's probably a good rule of thumb, right? Instead of trying to be right on time or right on the hour, you can try to be early. That's true. That's proper etiquette in Canada as well, to be a little bit early. Good answer, Lucas. And Amp, the third question.
Do you think of others before you think of yourself? I try to do it most of the time, yes.
I don't doubt that for a second, Amp. You seem like that type of person.
Thank you.
Can you think of an example of when it's a kindness or a polite thing to do to think of somebody else before you think of yourself?
Yes, well, for example, we are at the bank or at the church, and we have to do a line. Yes, if I saw an ancient, an older guy, yes, I just go ahead. You can go first. I don't have any trouble in waiting
Very
a
nice.
little more.
Anybody else think of a time when it's good to think of others before you think of yourself?
For example, I don't know. When I driving at the road, I always give road for anybody who is in a hurry or trying to drive in front of me. I always take roads for them.
I was thinking of driving too, Victor. That's a very good example because sometimes that's when there's trouble, right? When somebody comes across somebody and they both want to be first, then you end up having an accident or problems. Anybody else think of an example?
I think you have to follow rules. If the road is your right, you go first, I think.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you can cause an accident if you're, trying to be too polite. That's true. Good. Ali, read the last or the fourth question for us.
How do people learn good manners? People learn the manners from their parent at first, I think. You can learn some good manners from school. And you can learn something from your friends in society where you live. I think you can learn everything during your whole life about how to do or how to be polite or rude. I don't
Absolutely. Know. That's a good point, Ali. It's true. Like maybe you think, we stop learning after we leave home or something, but every situation gives us an opportunity to learn what's acceptable and what's not, right?
Yeah, you can learn new things every day. Sometimes you're surprised when you hear or see something new for you or different. You just think, oh, I didn't think about that before. Maybe it's polite or it's rude for another person. I don't know.
Absolutely. Good answer. Anybody else want to share an answer to that? How people learn good manners? All right. Victor, can you read the last question for us?
What do you do when someone is rude?
What do you do?
What I do? It depends on situation, yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you okay, you have an example? Go ahead.
I not so often, but sometimes I see some drunk people and they are very rude in the public places. In that situation, I would call police.
Okay, good, excellent. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes when a group of young people get together as a large group, then perhaps they start to act in a way that's disturbing for others. Calling the police is a good option. What about you, Victor? Maybe you're standing, oh sorry, what about you, Lucas, I meant to say. You're standing in a lineup, maybe waiting to pay for something, and somebody comes and they stand in front of you. What do you do?
I think I will try to first speak, but if someone is rude, I don't know. like Ali said, if someone is small, I think I could scare them. But if someone, but if someone is big,
Obviously,
I will let go.
So it depends on the size of the person, is what you're telling me.
Yes, it's not easy situation because it's not every person who is you see you calling for police if someone is rude. So-
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Lucas. That's a good answer. Very good answer. Okay, let's think of another situation. You're walking and you slip and you fall and people start laughing at you. What do you do? Ali, would you punch him then?
Uh, I I think no. I also laugh at myself maybe.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So there's different situations when somebody might act in a way that we consider to be rude just based on our culture. Any questions or additional answers to our warm-up exercise? Okay. We're going to read about American manners and etiquette. Let's start with Ali. Read that first highlighted part for us.
Okay. Etiquette and manners are basic rules to follow in everyday social situations. Etiquette rules show you polite and appropriate behavior. Manners teach you to consider others before you think of yourself and to be polite to others.
Excellent reading. And Amp, could you finish that paragraph?
Etiquette and good manners change from country to country. You may find that etiquette in your country is more conservative than the etiquette of other countries. You may also find that sometimes your country's etiquette and manners are more liberal than those of other countries.
Perfect. Very good. So are there any questions about the vocabulary for the first paragraph? Okay.
No.
So, like it says, etiquette and manners are rules to follow in everyday situations, right? So, for example, it says some countries might be more liberal than others. Who can give me an example of when that might be true, or compare two countries, America with another country, and describe how the rules or the etiquette might be a little bit different?
Maybe some Arabic countries, Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Etiquette are different, I think.
It's true, right? So there's a classic example, maybe where it would be considered rude in Saudi Arabia, but polite, perfectly normal in America. That's true. Do you think that you come from a country that is conservative or more liberal when it comes to manners? What do you think, Lucas? Do you think you come from a country that's more conservative or liberal?
I have to conservative and liberal. It's I don't know the meaning.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk about those words. Conservative. Who thinks they can explain what conservative is?
Conservative, some people like traditions and don't want to change easily some customs or traditions.
Okay.
Okay.
Stick to traditions. Conservative. Oh, hi Hassan. Welcome to the class.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can, but you don't have headphones in.
Yeah. So I'll put my headphone. Just a second.
Perfect. I'm going to mute your microphone until you do, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so it's true, Ali. It could mean sticking to traditions, that you you conserve to those values, but it also can mean a person who's a little bit more mild and quiet. Maybe they like to cover their skin. They don't wear short skirts or shorts, but they like to look dressed up from head to toe, for example.
Yes, you can see conservative people in different ways.
Exactly.
Maybe they think you can't drink alcohol or you can't dancing. It's a kind of shame for them.
Exactly. So depending on where you're from, conservative could
Yeah,
mean something different, right?
yeah.
Very good. And liberal is the opposite. Liberal is free to do and say whatever you want.
Okay. So
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. So what do you think, Lucas? Is your country conservative or is it liberal? Liberal.
I think it's about someone maybe respectful for your lifestyle or your opinion. Agree, you agree you as yourself, something like this.
Exactly. Anyone else want to tell me how they view their own country? Hassan, what do you think? What do you think about your country? Do you think it's conservative, the manners and the etiquette in your country, or do you think it's more liberal?
Sorry. Yeah, I think it's conservative. Yeah, it's yeah. Let me see. It's in the middle between conservative and liberal, and also maybe it depends on the city in the country. So some cities are more conservative more than other cities.
Absolutely. And where are you from, Hassan? Can you tell us?
I'm from Syria, but actually I'm living now in Amsterdam. So
Wonderful. That sounds like an interesting change for you. I've heard good things about Amsterdam.
sorry.
I've heard good things.
About Amsterdam, yeah. You hear a lot of things about Amsterdam. Yeah, it's a nice city.
Cool. All right, let's continue reading. Thank you for joining us, Hassan. It's good to have you in class. We're going to go to our next paragraph. And Lucas, can I get you to read the first highlighted part for us?
There was once an English queen who welcomed a sea captain to her dinner table. Instead of picking up his soupçon and scooping from the back of the bowl to the front, he picked up the entire bowl and began drinking from it.
And Victor, the rest of that paragraph.
To make him feel comfortable, the queen picked up her bowl and began drinking in the same way. This is an example of bad etiquette and good manners. The sea captain showed poor etiquette because of his soup-eating style. The queen showed good manners by not making the captain feel uncomfortable.
Beautiful. And Hassan, can I get you to read the last little paragraph here?
Okay, in America there are many rules and guidelines for living everyday life. Here are a few to those guidelines for behaving politely in American society.
Awesome, good reading. So let's talk about that paragraph. What happened between the queen and the sea captain? Amp, can you give us a little summary? What happened between them?
Well, the captain didn't know about etic etiquette, but in order to don't feel him too bad, the queen just follow the same way that he was drinking his up.
Exactly. So what do you guys think about the difference between etiquette and manners? What's the difference? After reading this example, what is a possible difference between those two words?
Etiquette is just rules about how to develop your skills in some places. Good manners is just the way to treat the people in order to feel comfortable under any circumstances.
Really good explanation. Anyone else have something they'd like to add? Who can give me another example where it might be poor etiquette but good manners? You might need to think about that one. In what situations could you show poor etiquette but good manners? It's a tricky one, isn't it?
When you interrupt someone speaking and they permit you go on, say go ahead, something like that.
Absolutely. That's perfect, Ali. Good example.
It's happened in class very often.
Exactly. So sometimes insisting on good manners is actually, or insisting on proper etiquette is actually bad manners. For example, if you said to a student, "You keep cutting me off and you speak when it's not your turn," they might not be very happy with you.
You are so rude.
Exactly. So it's tricky, right? But the Queen obviously has good manners and good etiquette. Whereas the sea captain, he might need a little work, right? He needs a little help. So we're going to look at some typical rules in American culture, things that are considered polite and things that are considered impolite. Maybe we could have the first one. When it comes to parties, what is polite and what is impolite? Victor, when it comes to parties.
Impolite, arrive late, and polite, I think, arrive for party in the time. I
Good
don't know
job.
what does it mean. RSVP.
RSVP is when you respond to the invitation by saying, "Yes, I will come," or "No, I cannot." Okay, it's actually from French. I think it's like répondez s'il vous plaît. So it's like asking to respond, please, or please reply. Why do you think it would be considered polite to reply? If somebody invites you to a party, why is it polite to reply and say, "Yes, I can come," or "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I'm not able to make it"? Why is that considered polite? Lucas, what do you think?
Because it's good when you someone how to say, if someone inform him that you come or not, because maybe he will buy more products which can be broke.
A waste.
A waste, yes, a waste.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, good example, Lucas. Good answer. Anyone else? Maybe it's a wedding invitation. Why is it important to respond?
Because the groom have to pay for every meal that is going to be served that day. They need to know the number exactly of dishes that they have to ask for to the catering service.
Absolutely. Or maybe they go to a facility that has a limit of 100 people. So if you can't come, maybe somebody else would be able to, right?
Exactly.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about your culture. Ali, tell us what it's like where you live. Is it polite or impolite to arrive late? Do people consider that to be rude or poor etiquette?
Maybe one time or two time you do that, it's not very important, but you usually arrive late for work, or are we talking about generally, or a special situation?
A party. You're invited to a wedding, to a dinner. You're invited out by other people and you arrive late. Is that considered rude?
Not too much. I think it depends what kind of party or what kind of wedding, or it depends the cities. Some where it's normal, people not consider about that, but in some case, people care about that. It depends, I think. It can be rude or not rude.
Okay, very good. Anybody else want to share? Okay, let's have Hassan read about what you should do or what's considered polite and rude, the next two.
So the next two, cover your mouth when you sneeze or cough. Burp loudly in a public place if you have to cover your mouth. So I think this is in all cultures you should cover your mouth when you sneeze. So I don't think there is an exception for this.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I don't think anybody wants to take a shower when I sneeze to him. So I think in all cultures, yeah, I think so. So if you have any example, just give me.
I don't want to say anything bad about anybody on live broadcast, so I'll just keep it to myself.
Okay. Send it to me by email.
Okay, will do.
Okay.
And what about what's considered impolite? Do you think there's any cultures that burping in a public place is considered acceptable?
Yeah, I'm not sure about this actually.
Does anyone have anything to say about it?
Burp loudly, I think it's a rude thing in my culture.
I can't remember what culture it was, but I remember somebody telling me that it was considered polite in their culture to burp after a meal because it means that you enjoyed it.
Yes, I heard that.
Really?
Yes, but I don't remember in what place was.
Me neither, Amp. I can't remember. I know that there was a place, though, that they considered it.
Yeah, I think I heard about that also.
Yeah, it's something weird, but
Yeah, I think in China it's very normal to burp loudly in any place. Actually, I think so.
Maybe all the men in the world.
Does anybody here from China?
No, nobody's in this class is from China.
Okay.
Not today. We'll have to ask them next time. We'll say, "Excuse me, I have a question for you."
Yeah, is it okay to burp loudly in a place? Yeah.
They'll think you're extremely rude for asking. That's the problem.
not polite at all.
Ali, what's going on in the chat? All right, let's read the next two. Amp, it's your turn. Go ahead and read that for us.
Tell someone quietly that they have something in their teeth. Pick your nose in a public place.
Okay, so Amp, tell us compare these rules to your culture.
Yes, there's the same here. It's very delicate to say to someone else that you have something in their teeth, or just making just a sign. Try to clean your mouth, your teeth. You have to find a way to just making a sign or just tell the less possible.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas some people might say, "Excuse me, you have something in your teeth."
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think picking your nose in public, like Hassan said, I think that's a universal one. Hopefully none of you come from cultures where that's okay.
Really, it's funny, I think.
I won't say that I never see it happening in Canada. To be honest with you, sometimes when you drive and you're at a stoplight, if you look at the people driving beside you, sometimes they might be picking
Yeah.
your nose.
Yeah.
But
And,
it's not
think it's
public
nobody
place.
else.
At your car.
That's true. Actually, when I lived in the Dominican Republic, people seemed to do that quite freely as well. And I don't think that it was considered very... I guess if you see it all the time, it becomes acceptable, right? But I think that most people would still think it's gross.
Actually, people, they do it all the time, but they know that this is impolite etiquette. So, but you know, sometimes you like the feeling when you pick up your nose in public place. So sometimes you enjoy it. You know, you think that nobody sees you, but actually,
But we're watching. We know.
yeah, you're watching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is the camera everywhere nowadays. You can't escape.
Yeah, maybe somebody is doing that right now. He turns off his camera, and I'm not sure about this.
Oh, I was doing that. How do you know?
Yeah, you see.
See, all of us are sitting going, uh-oh. Maybe I've been caught doing that before.
But maybe it's not rude when your webcam turn off. If your webcam is turned on, you do that. It's rude.
You better hope it doesn't accidentally turn on, Ali. Okay. Hi, Aka. Welcome to the class.
Yes, hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well. What do you think of this conversation you've just walked into?
Okay. Yeah, one exception is tip is not necessary here.
Oh, okay. You're on.
Yeah.
Here, why don't you read those two examples for us, Aka, while you're
Okay.
at it?
Tip at bars and restaurants. Put your elbows on the dinner table. Put your elbows is impolite,
Mm-hmm.
and Japanese shop doesn't require tips, and so you don't need to. Taxi, hotel, wherever. And in an expensive hotel and restaurant, kind of tip was included as a service fee.
Ah, okay.
And other shops and service, we don't have tradition of paying tip, so you don't need to pay.
Excellent.
Yeah. So my friend, taxi driver, says foreign people often pay tip for him, so he's really glad because that's an unexpected gift for him.
Nice.
So-
That's lovely.
And our American teacher came to Japan. He put a tip on the table, and he left a restaurant. And restaurants staff, follow him. You don't, so the staff pay back that tip to him. So,
Very good.
Yeah, you don't need to pay tip here.
Yeah, it's totally different, right? It depends where you come from. In Canada, it is customary to tip unless you see on your bill when you receive your bill after eating or whatever you do. Unless you see at the bottom it says tip has been included, and they'll add an additional percentage onto your bill.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Victor? What's it like in your country when it comes to tipping? What's considered polite or impolite?
No, it's not requires. If you don't want to give tip, you don't have to.
Okay, very good.
Not common.
And what about where you're from, Lucas?
It also depends if you want or not, but it's good to give some tip, of course.
Of course, very good. Anyone else want to share about whether tips are customary or not?
Yeah, I just want to say that maybe it seems in Canada the tip is a must. So even if you have a bad service, you must pay a tip. So I'm not sure about this, but yeah, some of my friends, they told me that it's a must. So yeah, in other places, okay, if I got a good service, yeah, I can pay. But otherwise, why? So
Yes, I know what you mean. At the end of the day, if I did not want to tip, I wouldn't. However, people they would look at me and think of me as a really kind of rude, impolite person. So I think it's like a public fear, Hassan. You want to be accepted in society and you don't want people to think badly of you. So even if the service is bad, you might say, oh, I'll just tip because I don't want to cause a problem or I don't want to have
no, I don't
people...
like this attitude. I don't like this attitude. So if the service is bad, so no tip. So
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I agree with you.
Maybe waiters swear after you if you don't ask tip.
Oh, well, then I would definitely be happy that I didn't tip.
What a stingy person.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the next one. Ali, could you read the next one for us?
Send thank you notes when you receive a gift. Talk with your mouth full of food.
So what do you think? If you received a gift from someone, how do you respond?
Usually we say thank you. Sometimes you send a note or you call him or her. Somebody give you a gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a polite thing, I think, in my culture, to thank you him or her.
Very good, yeah. Sometimes too, what about when you're invited for dinner at somebody's home? Is it customary to bring a thank you card or a small gift with you? Anybody? In Canada, you must bring a bottle of wine or something like that.
Yeah, we don't need to bring card, but yeah, some small gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's preferable.
flowers or something like
Yeah.
that.
Flowers or wine or yes, that's kind of thing.
We have, for example, if you go home from somebody and they have children, it's necessary to buy some chocolate or toys, small toys.
Very good. Okay, that's interesting, Victor. So they think of the children. I don't think that happens in Canada ever. No, that would be a special. That would be really special if you did something like that. That sounds nice.
Yeah, sometimes you visit your friend or your relatives. When you go their home and you buy some sweet baklava or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe chocolates. You can come to my house for dinner if you're going to bring chocolate.
I bring you baklava maybe.
Okay.
You like,
Wine and chocolate.
baklava?
Wine, chocolate, and flowers. I'll make you a pretty good meal if you do that. All right, let's go to the oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And I recently told with my mouth full of food. I told with myself when I did some exercise for pronunciation.
You're guilty as charged. Well, sometimes you have to say it before you have time to swallow, I guess, right? Let's go to the next one. Do you want to read it for us, Lucas?
Wait your turn in line. And never talk out of turn. Wait for your chance to speak.
Do you think these are...
So I'm gonna talk right now. I'm being...
Good example.
This is a good example.
Wait your turn.
Go ahead, Hassan.
I'm sorry, guys. So yeah.
Everybody is one person.
Put a leg.
funny. Yeah, when somebody's talking too much, we'll say, put a sock in it. Put a
second.
Yeah.
Who taught you that idiom? That is fantastic. That must have been teacher Chad.
I don't know.
Actually, we say
Berlin, but
put a
I
slipper.
remember who.
Yeah,
All
actually,
right.
we say put a slipper, not a socks.
In your country, you say put a slipper
Yeah.
in it? Oh.
Yeah.
It depends the mouth, size
The
of
size
mouth.
of the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need a sock, you need a slipper. Okay, let's talk about the next one. Say please and thank you, and then the one that's considered impolite, to stop by someone's house without calling. Now, in Canada, the United States, you always call before you pop in. I mean, there's the rare case if somebody's a really close friend, but for us, you definitely should call before you just pop into someone's house. Does anyone have a comment about that one? All right, let's have our discussion. So what you guys are going to do is choose a question that you would like to ask a different person in the class, and then we'll do our rounds until everybody has a chance to ask and answer. Do you want to start us off, Victor? Choose somebody else in the class and ask them one of the questions.
Okay. I ask Ali, number 5. Do people like to wait in line in your country?
No, absolutely not.
Nobody likes to wait in line.
If you find an opportunity to go first, you do your best, I think, in my country.
Oh, I don't like that. I hate fighting to try and wait in line.
And what line do usually if somebody trying to cut?
But you have to do that like sneaking. Nobody knows that or nobody see that. You have to be smart, I think.
Good. And Victor asked you, what do you do if that happens to you?
I don't know. Maybe I warn someone if take my line, take my turn.
Mm-hmm.
If he don't care, maybe I punch him. I don't know. Fight with him.
Ali has fantastic etiquette.
Yeah.
You can
I
say,
say,
excuse me, you are confused. The end of the line is behind me.
I like it, Amp. Embarrass them. I like it.
I say just a buzz off in 2 seconds.
Buzz off.
Buzz off, yeah.
All right, Ali, choose a different question for a different student, and we'll finish with Victor at the end.
Okay. How often do you hold the door open for the person behind you?
When I go to the, I used to do it when I go to the mall, but now they are automatic doors, so you don't need to do it. But if yes, but if I go to I go to a house, yes, I usually do it.
It's a polite door already. Huh?
Yes, just they open automatically, so you don't need to.
What a
to help.
polite person you are, Amp.
Yes, I like it.
Amp, choose somebody else with a different question.
Okay. Lucas, number 3, have you ever met someone who was rude? Who and where?
I think there were many people, but of course, I think the most rude person are, I think, the guy who think that are nice, like football players, try to impress the friends. So I don't like these people, and of course, if I know some combat, karate, something, of course I will kick them butt. It's okay. Kick them.
I would have kicked him.
Yeah, something like that. Yes. Yes, I would have kicked him. So, because I think every person should be like equal.
Okay, very good. Thanks for sharing that with us, Lucas. Choose a different student now.
Okay, maybe to Hassan.
Okay.
How do you feel about cell phone ethic? Why should you turn your phone off before a movie or while you are in a class?
Yeah. Actually, in a movie, when you are in the cinema, you should turn your mobile off. In the class, you shouldn't turn it off. Yeah. Sure. Sometimes they have this. I don't like it. They have this electrical thing. They put it in the cinema, so they put your mobile phone out of coverage. Yeah, I think this is bad etiquette from other people. Like, okay, I want to be connected all the time. In the class, I'm not sure. In the class, you don't have to turn off your mobile phone. You say let's talk about Google Hangout etiquette. What do you mean by this?
I mean, like when you've got noise or kids crying or the dogs are barking and you don't want to turn your
This is
microphone off.
chatting etiquette. Yeah. So if there is someone next to you like shouting, and you should turn off your mic. But seriously, for the cell phone, I don't think you have to turn off your mobile phone everywhere.
Okay, that's good. Interesting.
Sometimes some students eating something in the class and their webcam is open, turn on. Some people smoking, I think. Maybe we need to talk about these verbal classes. And some people don't wear t-shirt or something like that.
Okay,
Maybe.
yeah, with their video camera on, that's obviously unacceptable in verbal classes, right? So those are all different examples of different types of etiquette, right? Good. Okay, Hassan, choose a different question for Aka.
For Aka. Okay, nice question. Are you a polite person? Give an example. I would like to ask this question to Amp actually after she put a sock in my mouth. So.
I am. I was kidding you.
I'm kidding as well. So Aka, are you a polite person? And give me an example.
I believe so. But sometimes I might be unpolite, but I try to be polite. Yeah. Is that answer your question?
Aka, you're from Japan, right?
Yes.
So your culture is probably world-renowned for being one of the most polite cultures on the planet.
I don't know exactly, but sometimes, talking about holding door, Japanese usually don't hold the door, the person behind. So after I came back from the United States, I thought American people always hold the door open, people who behind that. So I thought, why? Maybe Japanese are not used to living with doors still. We used to live in a sliding door, you know. Maybe, yeah, such kind of thing. Yeah, and maybe people might uncomfortable about that here. So, yeah, so right after I came back to here, I felt, strange. People don't hold the door for me or something like that. Yeah, you might feel the same feeling if you come to Japan.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If it's a sliding door, it's pretty easy. Just open it. Very nice. Anyone else want to talk about their answer to that question, if you think you're polite or not? In my culture, I would say Canadians have a reputation of being... Oh, sorry. Were you going to say something, Anne?
It's Victor's turn to answer the question.
Yes, so, but Akka, you're going to ask him a different one. Go ahead, Akka.
Okay, who should I ask?
Victor.
Victor. Okay, Victor, okay, how often do you hold the door open for the person behind you?
I asked that question.
Oh,
yeah, we did ask that question already before. Ask him a different one, Akka.
Different one? Okay. How should you treat your teacher? How should you treat your boss?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. For example, we have rules for that situation with teacher and the boss. In my language, we use how to say long name for treating to teacher or boss. We use first name and the name of father. And I don't know how to explain. We have 2 words for treating. For mother and for teacher and boss, we used like you, but for other people we used another word more close. How to say in single. I don't know how to explain. In English, everybody is you can call everybody you. You when many people and you when one people.
I know what you mean.
Different words.
Yeah, same here.
For bosses and for teachers, we use you as well, like in English.
Very good. Thanks, guys. Awesome work in today's class. Any questions or comments before we close about etiquette or good manners?
No.
Okay, nicely done. Good work. I hope to see you guys for the next class as well, but if not, thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.
Take care.
Thank you
very much.
Bye.
Bye.